Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's time to talk about some recent pickups that I got. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these, and I thought, well, I bought a bunch of games recently, a bunch of game-related items that I wanted to share with you, and it's time to jump in and talk about it. Some of these games I've already beaten, some I haven't even cracked open the plastic wrapping of them, and off camera here, and I'm going to show you in this big box right here. I've got a big box. I'm going to save it for the end. Really excited about this. I think this is going to open up a whole world of gaming to me that I totally missed actually over the years. So I'll talk about that at the end. So I've got a pile of games here. I've got a pile of items. Let's get into it. Let's start with this one. Now, shout out to Emily over at Orbology, who talked about this a number of months ago, and I put it on my list to get, and this is Gris. Now, I just thought, first of all, it looked absolutely beautiful as a platform adventure game from Devolver Digital. Gris is a young girl who is lost in her own kind of crazy world, I guess, dealing with a lot of pain in her life. But I just had to say, when I looked at the platforming and some of the puzzle solving and some of the gameplay, it looked like absolute work of art. So I thought this looked like a peaceful, kind of calm platforming puzzle game. In some ways, it kind of looked a little bit like Journey from the PS3 era, just painterly and beautiful. So I ended up picking up the collector's edition because it was available, and I'm kind of a sucker for collector's editions. And so, yeah, it just looks absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to dive into this game. Maybe I'll save it for like a rainy weekend or something like that. So I'm excited about Gris. All right, next I wanted to talk about an item I picked up for the Nintendo Switch, and this is a bit of an accessory. When you're playing the Nintendo Switch, you know the Joy-Cons are not very well designed for comfort, especially when you're playing a game like Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown or something like that, or any kind of difficult platforming games, or even just a long-term play session on an airplane or something. So the Hysplit Pad is what I picked up for the Nintendo Switch, and I have to say this is my favorite of the bunch. I've tried a bunch of these, and I really dig this. It has a really nice ergonomic feeling to it, really nice in the hand, comfortable for playing, very clicky on the buttons as well, and when I'm sitting there at nighttime trying to play it, my wife's trying to sleep, she's like, can you please be quiet? So it is a little clicky, but I like a good clicky button. Plus you can actually assign some different turbo features to different buttons as well. So if you're playing a shoot 'em up or something like that, you can set those different buttons. You can assign these different buttons right here on the Hysplit Pad. Highly recommend if you're looking for one to make your Switch experience on the go a little bit better. I highly recommend it. Very easy to pop off on the back, slides right off, throw it right in your bag with your other Switch, in your Switch case if you want. Okay, my next pickup is the Quarry. I picked this up on the PS5. This is an interactive drama horror game, and it scared the pants off of me. You control 9 teenage counselors in the summertime who have to survive their last night at Hackett's Quarry. Like, they've done the whole summer. This is the last night there. The kids have gone home from the summer camp, and now the counselors remain. And it has all of the tropes of a good horror story, right? Everything is based on your choices. I've already beaten this game, and it took me about 10 hours. There's 10 chapters, so each chapter is about an hour. And I absolutely love this game. If you like a good narrative story, if you love a good horror story, this actually is fantastic. I thought the narrative was really great. I thought the characters were really rich and very unique. I thought the voice acting was fantastic. Really is great. Basically, it's a follow-up to Until Dawn, which came out in 2015. Again, I think the characters were really rich, interesting, and of course it has that classic summer camp horror vibe to it, which makes it awesome. And I think it, like I said, it took me roughly 10 hours to play, so not very long. Short, sweet, and scary as hell, and yes, it scared the pants off me. So make more of these, please. Make more of these games, please. I really enjoyed this. Speaking of narrative style, I got this for my birthday. This is the next pickup here. Star Trek Resurgence on the PS5. Now, it's similar to the Quarry in that it's a narrative-driven adventure game, and it's actually from the same team that left Telltale Games. And I've been meaning to dive into some of the Telltale games of like the Batman series, the Telltale series. They make great narrative-style games. As you can see here on my shelf behind me, I've got, these are all my Star Trek novels. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, so I love narrative Star Trek. I love those novels. In fact, I have my son reading some of the Next Generation novels right now, and I love the original series novels and Voyager and all of that stuff. So I love a good story, and I love that you're really having to control the destiny of this crew, in this ship experience. So I haven't played this yet. This was a birthday present from my wife, so I'm very excited to dive into Star Trek Resurgence. How many of you played it? Let me know in the comments if you've played this game. All right, my next pickup is a little game called Kina and the Bridge of Spirits. I got the deluxe edition. I don't know why. I don't know why. This game looked interesting to me. I saw a couple of people talking about this online, and I actually played it just recently. I played it over a long weekend, and I beat it. And it didn't take me very long. It was not a very long game to beat. I didn't 100% the game, but it's really fun. I really enjoyed the game. It was a fun game of exploration. It looked cozy and it looked kind of cute. The narrative style kind of had a Pixar appeal to me, like a Pixar quality of animation. And I found some of the boss battles, I have to admit. So you go in thinking, oh, this is a cute like action game, and some of the combat is a lot of fun. The combat's actually really fun and engaging, and the exploration is fun. And then I thought, oh my god, I got to these boss battles. Oh, these bosses are going to be easy. Holy smokes, no, they're not. Some of the boss battles in this are really hard, where they took like an hour or more for me to beat some of these bosses. And I didn't play it on an easy mode or an advanced mode. I played it on the normal mode. And there were times I thought, oh my god, maybe I should switch to like an easy mode or something. Holy smokes. I thought maybe the team from like FromSoft took a break from making Elden Ring or something and came over to make some boss battles in Kina and the Bridge of Spirits. Anyway, it's a beautiful game. If you've got kids, they probably would enjoy this game. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't too dense, and the combat wasn't like overly complex. I recommend it. I think it was a fun game, and it's short. It's a short and sweet game, so had a lot of fun with it. All right, next up is another PS5 game. This was another birthday present from my wife. Now, this is for Sony VR, the VR2. This is Operation Wolf First Mission, and Operation Wolf Returns First Mission, and I loved the Operation Wolf games in the arcade and playing with the Uzi. So this is a VR version of that you can play co-op. You can play actually with multiple players, and you can play online, which is amazing. So if you've got VR, you can play with your buddy, you can jump in, and you can play this game in first-person style, just like being in the arcade again, but with a fully VR experience. When I saw this, I said, I've got to try this. It wasn't expensive, just a total guilty pleasure game. And I've been looking, for more VR. We got the VR set up for my son for Christmas. And we want some good VR games, and there's just not a lot of them right now. So, just to have fun, just getting in there and shooting some stuff in the jungle with an Uzi in VR style is, that's why I asked for it. So thanks to my wife for that one for my birthday. Okay, here's the last of the PS5 pickups that I wanted to share. This is Star Ocean: The Second Story R, and I've only heard amazing things about this remake of this classic RPG, and I cannot wait to play this game. I saw Reggie over at Radical Reggie. He 100% of the game, platinum the game. He got every possible ending of the game. There's like 99 endings. I was like crazy, right? So I'm really excited to play this. I need to carve out some time. I'm going to finish Xenoblade, and I've got a couple of other big games that I want to play before I dive into this series. But this would be the first time I'd ever played a Star Ocean game. So I've heard mixed things about the Star Ocean series, but a lot of people saying this is their absolute favorite, the Star Ocean Second Story R. So glad I picked this one up on the PS5. All right, next we're going to dive into some classic systems here, like GameCube, and we're going to talk about some some TurboGrafx stuff here in a second. But I never got a chance to play Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Of course, played Metroid Prime and just beat Metroid Prime Remastered last year. Unbelievable. But I never owned this, and I actually never owned a GameCube, and so recently picked up a used GameCube and Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, and I've just gotten a few choice games for the GameCube, games that you can't get anywhere else right now. We're waiting for this. Maybe there'll be a remaster on the Nintendo Switch. Great. But I wanted to experience this game on the GameCube in its original form, so I picked it up, and it was actually really cheap. Picked it up at a used game store And it was, yeah, like I said, pretty cheap, relatively speaking, for a GameCube game. And of course, classic. I'm a huge Metroid fan, so for me to be able to play this game for the first time on its original hardware, I'm excited about that. I can't wait. And again, maybe they'll do a remastered version. There is a lot of talk that that is coming, and they'll do 2 and 3, maybe in a combo pack. I hope they don't. I'd love to have them, all 3 of them on my shelf. Metroid Prime Remastered, 1, 2, and 3, like in their own Switch cases. That's just me. I'm just kind of particular that way. It's like, why downgrade the other 2 and put them on one cart and you have, you know, it's just weird. Anyway, and then to have Metroid Prime 4, so 4 of them all in one, in their own cases on the Switch, that would be great. So I'm excited to play that. All right, here's another GameCube game I picked up, and I've only heard amazing things about this game. And then I bought it before Nintendo announced that they're remaking Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door. So again, I've heard that this is the best of the Paper Mario series. I'd never played any of the Paper Mario games. I played a few minutes of it. One of my children got a Switch game for Christmas. I played just a few minutes of it, but I only heard amazing things about this. So managed to get myself an original copy of this for the GameCube. And then, wouldn't you know it, Nintendo announces they're bringing out the remake on the Nintendo Switch, which is fine. But I, again, want to play this on original hardware, and I'm kind of curating a small little GameCube collection, just some games that I really want to play on that system. So I'm excited about that. All right, as we talk about older systems here, I picked up some 3DS games and some brand new 3DS games. I couldn't believe that. I think I got these on VGP out of Canada. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, sealed, brand new, wrapped, totally sealed. Again, I've never played any of the Shin Megami Tensei games, so I'm excited to pick that up and play that. And also, I picked up Strange Journey Redux, Shin Megami Tensei. So 2 3DS games, brand new, sealed, that I was able to get on VGP. You might be able to still find them. I know that they were still selling some backstock that they had, so why not? Some brand new 3DS games in 2024? Really? Like, that system is, what, 15 years old now? I was there at that Nintendo event at E3 when they announced it. I was there in the room in California when they made that announcement, and so it feels like before my kids were even born. It feels ages ago. Ages ago, I tell you. All right, let's do some TurboGrafx, shall we? So recently I did a video on playing Ysbooks 1 and 2. I completed this just a few weeks ago, Ysbooks 1 and 2 on the TurboGrafx. Here is the original game on the Turbo CD right here. Super cool to be able to pick this up and play it on the Analog Duo. So this was one of my pickups. If you want more, please go watch that video. I went into in depth about how much that game meant to me and how great it was. And the music, oh my gosh, the music from Ysbooks 1 and 2 is just phenomenal. So go check out that video. I'll make sure it's linked up here. Maybe there's a card will pop up over here on the screen. You can go watch that video or just seek it out here on my channel. So I won't go into a in-depth review here, just to say it was great. It was really, really good. But I did get another TurboGrafx game as well. This is Ninja Spirit. I got the original copy of Ninja Spirit, a notoriously difficult game for the PC Engine. You can see here's the original Hue card in here, right in there. There it is. Oh, there's the original Hue card. And so, again, I've never owned any PC Engine games or TurboGrafx games. And so when the Analog Duo came out, I started to curate a small little collection of games. I don't have hundreds of them. I have 2 right now. One of them I've already beat. So I can't wait to jump into Ninja Spirit, which is, again, a really notoriously difficult platformer, released in 1998 in Japan. You have a katana, of course, as a samurai, as a ninja, and you have to make, not a samurai, you're a ninja, and you have to make your way through each level, every platform, and get to the final boss, and the bosses are apparently very difficult. It's not a very long game. I think it's all in maybe like 2 hours long from what I can tell, but I'm really excited to be able to pop this in the Analog Duo and play that. Okay, my next Switch game I wanted to share with you is a little game called Durus. And yes, I picked up the collector's edition of Durus. Now, what's funny is I ordered the standard edition and then they came out with the collector's edition and I had to pick this up. This unbelievable shoot 'em up game. Absolutely beautiful, just amazing gameplay. If you've never played this game, I highly recommend picking this up. I do have quite a few now shoot 'em up games in my collection that I've just enjoyed over the years. You know, and to me, I play a lot of really long RPGs. So for me able to sit back and just play a level or two in a shoot 'em up, you know, do it in a few minutes and just kind of pop in, pop out, not devote your whole afternoon to a game like that. Plus, it's great on it really is fun on the Nintendo Switch, and being able to take it in your bag, and if you got a few minutes while you're waiting for something in a line somewhere, or you're on a bus or a train or whatever, just to be able to play a shoot 'em up game like that for a few minutes here and there is just a lot of fun. So highly recommend Durus, and I did get the collector's edition. Okay, this I'm really excited about. This is my last Nintendo Switch game to talk about. This is a pickup, Trails to Azure. Now, I picked up the collector's edition of this. I absolutely love the artwork. I love the anime style of this. Now, I've never played a Trails game, but when I saw this, I was blown away by it. It looks right up my alley. You know when you know, okay, you see something, you're like, I know I'm going to like this. I hear a lot of people that I really respect in the RPG world talking about the Trails series and how much they like it. So let me give it a shot. And so I just had to buy the collector's edition because it just looks so cool. And it wasn't that much more expensive and all of that. So I want to ask you guys though, because I really know nothing about the Trails series other than just superficial stuff. What's the best one to start with? Like, let me know in the comments below where to start with the Trails series. It seems a little overwhelming, but that's okay. I do not shy away from like big series. You know, I will jump into it like I'm, you know, just starting with the Ys series. I beat Ys Origin, Ys Books 1 and 2, and I'm going to go through that whole series. But where do you start with the Trails series? Is it all over the place and you can kind of jump in where you want? Or is there you have to start at number 1? And exactly what would you recommend? So let me know in the comments below if you're a Trails fan. I would love to hear about that. Okay, next up, this is not a game, but this is all about gaming. So I've been a fan of the Retro Gamer magazine, and I would always go whenever I was at the store. I would see these and I would buy them. And then I decided to finally, why don't I just get a subscription to it so that it'll be delivered ahead of time? Because I kept popping into different newsstands to try to find it. And I absolutely love this magazine. I love the like bite-sized little nuggets about the history of gaming. They do great interviews with individuals. You know, they did a whole deep dive on the Tomb Raider series and interviewing the developers and some of the struggles and gameplay between Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider 2. And, you know, just really great interviews, a lot of retrospectives, really interesting columns, really weird and old hardware that you forgot about or didn't even know existed. Then they'll do different genres, diving into like the 1990s, like this most recent issue here that I got was on the 1990s, a decade of definitive games. And they're really going through, I think 90 different games in here that really made up that era. So I highly recommend, if you're into retro games, pick up, you know, get a subscription to Retro Gamer magazine or just pick it up at the store. I like to support journalists who are doing this kind of work, you know, and we need that community to be strong. So if you're thinking about like a gift for someone who's a retro gamer, enjoys that kind of stuff, this is a perfect gift. This is an absolutely perfect gift to give the retro gamer in your life. Okay, 2 more things. 1 more game and then the big reveal here. Okay, this is a brand new Sega Genesis game that I picked up. This is Soul Dees. Look at that box. The classic Sega Genesis or Mega Drive or whatever you guys want to call them. I was a Sega Genesis guy in North America, so that's what it will always be in my brain, you know. But anyway, this is a shoot 'em up. This is a side-scrolling classic shoot 'em up that they just re-released. From Retrobit. And yeah, this was a special edition. And I love that they're still releasing Genesis games in 2024. And, you know, if you don't have a Genesis system, of course, you could play it on the analog version of it from the analog company, the Analog SG, I believe it's called, which was where I play a lot of my Genesis games. But what a lot of fun this game is. Came out in 1990, horizontal side-scrolling shooter from Japan, and was out on the Sega Genesis, but it first came out on the Sharp computer system back in the day, which I didn't own, but I did play it on the Sega Genesis back in the day, and I don't know who owned it. I didn't own it. One of my friends had this game, and so we would play a lot of shoot 'em ups over at his house. I didn't own a lot myself, but anyway, when this came out, this retrospective edition, I couldn't pass this up. So again, sold Dees from Retrobit Games. So all right, okay, here's the big reveal. So I ordered this about a year ago and kind of forgot about it. And then it finally came out. That's what's in this big box over here. And that is the Polymega. That's right, the Polymega. And it's a multi-module set. This is just one of the modules, okay? This is for the Nintendo 64. So the Polymega is a modular multi-system game console, and it lets you enjoy all sorts of different game systems in one device. You can swap out and play your PS1 games, your CD games. You can also play your cartridge games and all of that. And what's amazing is you can pick which modules you want. And so I went crazy and I ordered like everything I could, because I want to be able to play classic PS1 games. I want to be able to play, Sega Genesis games. I want to be able to play everything on here and be able to just load it onto this one hard drive and be able to play. Now, I haven't opened this yet. I'm saving it for a few months from now when I will have some additional time on my hands and when I'm actually moving some things around in my office. I'll be able to dive more deeply into this and set it all up, but I am not touching it just yet because I've got a lot of other things that I want to play and do, but I will get to it. Now, a friend of mine who has already dove pretty deep into the Polymega has just been loading up tons of his games. And of course, you can get expandable hard drives, so you definitely want to do that. Get a multiple terabyte drive to store everything. So you'll take a CD from one of your games, put it in, and then basically it's ripping the game right to the hard drive of the Polymega. So then you can put your game back on the shelf. If you want to get a cartridge out, put the cartridge in, boom, puts it right on the hard drive. So you have all of your games right on the Polymega. You don't have to be going around looking for cartridges and looking on your shelf for different games or swapping CDs in and out and all of that. And even like multi-CD games. So let's say you've had the, multi-disc PS1 version of Final Fantasy. It'll rip the whole game right to the Polymega. So no need to swap out discs halfway through while you're playing the game. It's all right there inside the Polymega. So man, this thing is a beast. I mean, it's huge. It really is a big expense. It finally showed up a few weeks ago, but like I said, I ordered it over a year ago. But I'm excited to be able to go back and play a lot of my old PS1 games that I still have in my shelf in the other room, and be able to dive into some of my old CD games that I can't play right now because, not compatible on the PS5, of course. But to be able to have this one experience, to be able to play these games, I'm really excited about. And I'm also excited to explore other systems that I never got to play before, like the Sega Saturn. Just a few key games on that system that have never made it to other systems. Be really great fan-translated versions of certain games, or the decensored versions of like Lunar and things like that for the Sega CD, to be able to play on this. I'm really excited about it. I think it'll open up a whole world of additional games that I never had a chance to play growing up. So that is the Polymega. Is it right for you? I don't know. Go check out their website. I think it's really interesting, and I think it's exciting for maybe a certain group of 80s or 90s gamers who want to relive some of that and maybe track down some of those old games and play it on a modern system that you can hook up to an HD television and have that living room experience once again. So yeah, I'm excited about the Polymega. So there you go, guys. Some recent pickups. I've got a lot on my hands. I'm excited to play a lot of these games. Some I've already beat, and some I cannot wait to dive into, like the Trails series. So again, thanks guys for subscribing. Really, I love interacting with all of you guys. So if you leave me a comment here, I try to read all of the comments and try to interact with everyone. So I really appreciate it. Thanks for helping us reach over 30,000 subscribers. I'm just blown away, and much love to all of you guys, and we'll see you real soon.